So thanks for joining us. So this is we are doing this model demo every month. So usually is on a Friday at the beginning of the month. I think next month will be either the 9th or the 8th of November. But you can always check our events from our website. So I'm actually showing you where you can see our events that are scheduled, and you can see there what we have in the pipeline for you. So you can see there both what we have in terms of model webinar or what we have in terms of seminar. This is a very quick introduction. I want also to mention that on the website under the model section, you can actually find some very useful materials. So if you have a subscription to the model, you are able to see this kind of page. And what we have is that on this little column on the right, we have a sort of couple of materials that are very useful. I would suggest perhaps if you want to have a quick look at the demonstration of the model, there is a video on that, and there is also a PDF. The PDF is much more intense, so I will not recommend that for a late read. It's more like for a Monday or Tuesday morning read. And then, so please use all the materials and all the information that we have. Then let's start with the model introduction. So as you probably are aware, our model is one of the most widely used international macro model. Our clients include like international institutions as well as blue chip companies. And what we do is that we provide forecast every month on a 5-year, 10 years, or 25-year ahead basis. And the model is covering around 50 economies in detail, as you probably are aware. And these economies include, of course, all the main OECD economies, as well as all the main emerging markets economies. And then for the economies that are not included in the model, we have series of regional aggregates. So if you're interested, let's say, in the Luxembourg economy, Luxembourg is not it's not part of the main model, but then you can always check what's going on in Luxembourg by looking at the region that in which Luxembourg is. And then our model is coming with a global model workstation, which is the software I am on it now, and it comes with our Windows-based software. So every month when you receive the email or when you go to the website, you can download the new base and the update of the software. Talking a little bit about the theoretical background of the model, I want to spend a couple of minutes on that. So what we called our model as an eclectic model. So this means that the model is Keynesian in the short run and is monetarist in the long run. This means that what matters in the short run are the change to the demand. So an increase in the in demand will probably lead to higher output and higher employment initially, but then that will eventually feed through into higher wages, and then higher wages will mean higher prices. And then given that in our model we have a sort of inflation target for the monetary policy, which is endogenized in our model, then interest rate will have to rise, and then the demand will be reduced again. So this is the Keynesian short-term view of the model, while in the long run, output and employment are determined by supply-side factors, and by supply-side factors I mean labor supply, stock, and total factor productivity. So this is the main theoretical background of the model. And as I was saying before, so in the short term, the output is determined by the demand side. So as an example, consumption is a function of real income, is a function of wealth, is a function of interest rate. So if, for example, real income increase, we will expect an increase in consumption, right? Similarly, export function of world demand and relative unit labor cost. So, for example, if I'm in the German model, and I want to see the effect of increasing imports from China, then our model will give us the possibility to see that because the trade side of the trade of the various economies is interlinked. And in fact, another important issue of our model is the possibility, the interlinkage between different sectors and between different variables, let's put it this way. So for example, I just mentioned briefly trade, but then you have also other variables that are linking the different sectors of the model, such as commodity price or interest rate or exchange rate. So all these variables are part of the model, and make sure that one country is linked to the other one. So this is the main theoretical background for our model. Do we have any question on that? If not,
no, it's fine. Thank you.
If not, thank you. We can move to the actual model itself. So I'm showing you the global model workstation. So the global model workstation will allow us to enter into the model, the top left box. It will give us the possibility to view and download the data, so the top right one. It will give us the possibility to generate some standard tables, bottom left, and it will give us the possibility to see the effect of some standard scenarios, right? I think you will be more interested in, I'm going to show you how to use the model and how to view and download the data. Viewing, let's start from viewing and download the data. So if I click on launch, the model will, the software will ask you to select a database. So database, of course, is something you are familiar with. So the database is our database, which is released every month. So I'm going to select the September one. So the September one database will be our database, which will include all our historical data and all our forecasts for that have been produced last month in September. So I'm opening the Global Model Workstation, and I can see at the bottom which database is selected. So as you can see, this is the September one. So it's pretty straightforward to download an Excel with the data, or to actually just download the number of the data from the Global Model Workstation. What you have to do is just select the regions or the aggregate you're interested in. So let's say that you're interested in, let's say we are interested in the inflation forecast and the inflation historical data for all Europe. I'm going to select Europe here from the first column on the left. And as you can see, I have, if I click on Europe, I will have selected all the countries that belong to the Europe region. And then I can select the indicator I'm interested in from the second column there. So CPI and the main variables. So under key indicators, I will find some of the main variables that are there for all the countries. Then I will have some indicators common to most locations, which will be under this definition. And then we have also the possibility of selecting commodity prices and other indicators. But let's say we're interested in CPI and we don't know what CPI is. We can just type in into this box here, consumer price index, which is the definition of which is the mnemonic of the CPI, and we press enter twice, and we will have some green boxes highlighted. That means that under these boxes is where the price index will be. So if we don't know under which sections the indicator we are interested in is, we can just, as I've just done, type in the name in this box there. After that, we move on the third column, in which we have the possibility to select the frequency. So if we want annual, quarterly, or both, the possibility to select the period. So from, let's say we are interested from inflation from 2000 to 2019. And then we can select the type of measurement, in this case level, percentage change year on year, or difference year on year. So given that it's inflation and we are interested in the year on year, we can just click on year on year. And then we have there also the possibility to select different settings in sort of display, but this is like a more complicated feature. Then if we move to see results, we can press see results. The workstation will show us, as you can see there, all the different consumer price index indicators for the countries we have selected. This is something that is quite easy to handle, and you can see the difference between the forecasts, which are always in red, and the historical data, which are always in black. Okay, so the historical data will be the one up to 2014, and the forecast will be from 2015 onwards. Then what I can do from there, well, I can download the data if I want to Excel. So if I want to play a little bit with the data, I can easily download it to Excel just by clicking download, and it's usually quite fast, and you will be able to see in Excel the same data that we were seeing into the global model workstation. What you have also in Excel that you don't have in the global model workstation is this part on the right end, which is basically telling you a lot more of information regarding the historical data the series that we have downloaded. So it's telling you the sources, if the series is seasonal adjusted or not, the base price here, if exists, when the historical and year finished, and a couple of more information regarding the source of the series underlying that data. So let's go back to the workstation. What is also quite useful there is the possibility to create some chart. By clicking Show Chart, the workstation will show us a couple of the workstation will show us some line for the CPI, for the consumer price index. In this case, it has automatically selected 4 lines, so it has automatically selected probably the first 4 countries. But then we can change the setting of the chart by clicking on Setting on the left. We can change the content of the chart by changing the country there. So if we're interested in Czech Republic instead of Bulgaria, I can just click on Czech Republic, and then I can update the chart. I think what is useful of this is that you can copy the chart if you want, and you can download the chart in a series of different imaging formats. So this is quite useful if you want to take the chart and copy somewhere or send to your colleagues, or copy the charts in some of your presentations. Do we have any question on the global model workstation?
Nicola, where is the chart, the SVG vector?
Sorry, say it again?
There was something where it said if you can download the chart or you can use it as a JPEG. There was the SVG vector image. Is it just a different type of image? Sorry.
There's just a different type of image, yeah. We can see.
Don't worry, not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You see? So it's like this kind of image. So it's probably lighter than a PNG or JPEG image, something like that.
Okay, yeah. Fine, thanks.
And what you can do for there is that you can select the current selection. So let's say that we download every month the same selection of variables from the workstation. I can just save the selection from there. So I can call the selection CPI. So next time I will have to download again the CPI with another database. I can recall the selection I've saved. If we move back to the table, what is actually very useful for the global model workstation is the fact that you can compare 2 different databases. So in this case, we are looking at the September databases. as you can see from there. But then if I click on Add, I have the possibility to add another base to my selection. In this case, let's say I'm going to download the August one because I want to compare the different forecasts for August and September. I can just click on August, and then you see that where I have the selected database, I have the two databases, so the September and the August one, and for each variable I have both the August and the September base. So this is useful if you want to compare the two forecasts, or if you're doing a sort of maybe simulation on the model. You can always compare the baseline with the simulation scenario on the global model workstation. And what you can do, you can also create a chart of the two different let's say for the same variables of the two different databases. So let's say Turkey and in September and in August. I can just click on the two different databases, and then I can see the difference between the two forecasts.
Great.
Do you have any question on the model workstation? If not, I can move on directly to the model.
That's fine. I'm okay.
Thank you. So let's launch the global economic model. So the global economic model is this, of course, this software. The first screen will provide access to four main areas of activity. So run the model, view and download data, generate results table, predefine scenario. I will say that running the model and generate results table will be the two activities that you will use the most. While if I click on the advanced option, you will have four other options, but I will say that perhaps the most useful among these four is the alternative facility, which will provide you access to a facility in which you will be able to download the series into Excel, likely similar to what we have done in the global model workstation so far. So let's go back to the options and let's open the model. So if I go to run the model, running the model will ask you again to select a database. So the database, as I said before, is something that will contain all the equations, all the transformation, all the variables that will be released on that particular month. In this case, again, I'm going to select the September one. So in the model main screen, you will have access to all the functions necessary to visualize data, changing the forecast, or changing the equations, and the possibility to change and apply some what-if simulation. So the first screen on the top, what you will have, it will tell you which database is currently open. In this case, the September one. But what is easy to do in this model is that you may change the database by clicking on these. So if you want to change the database, so if we want to move from September to let's say, August, we can change the database and open a new one. So usually you want to do that if you are interested in seeing the difference between the two bases or seeing if the forecasts have changed or not. So this is what you do. What you can, what the first screen is showing you is on this drop down menu, you have all the countries that are covered in the model. So the main countries would be on the top, as you can see. So United States, Japan, China, etc. would be on the top. Then the other country would be below that. And at the end, what you will have, at the end of the list, you will have all the aggregation. So these are the aggregations I was mentioning before. And you have also the world sector. Under the world sector, you will have all the commodity prices, all the aggregation for the world. So let's say if you're interested in global GDP or global trade, you will have to go under this section. Likewise, if you will be interested in the oil price, you will have to search it under this sector. So the column on the left is showing all the countries and the sector. The column in the middle is showing us all the variables that are under that particular sector. If, let's say, the variables at the moment are sorted by the mnemonics, so every variable has its own mnemonics. So let's say WPO is the world oil price for Brent. But then, if you're not familiar with our mnemonics, you can always, if you click on this button here, this very small button with say mnemonic description on it, you can always sort the variables by their name and not by their mnemonics. So let's say if we move to Germany, let's say that we don't know under which mnemonic consumption is, we can always type in consumption, and then we will have the possibility to choose between all the different type of consumption that there are on the model. So private consumption or government consumption, etc. By clicking again on this button, you will return to the original order, so the one with the mnemonics. Again, on the main screen, what you see is the data. You see, of course, the chart, as you have probably realized now. And you can see the data for the selected series. So the data for the selected series are under the chart and are visualized in these cells below the chart. Each column is, of course, 1 year, and then every row is the quarter. As in the case with the global model workstation, the historical data are displayed in black. So for Germany consumption, we have historical data until Q2 2015, and the forecasts are those that, in this case, are in red. what you can do, you can always navigate the data using these arrows. So you can move to the initial, to the starting date of the series, which is 1980, to the forecasting date, which in this case is 2025. But that depends on the type of model you've subscribed for. So if, in this case, I'm showing you the 10-year database, then if, of course, you will be, if you are subscribed here, you will see data up to 2020, so up to there. The chart is showing, of course, the data, and the series, the historical data are in blue, while the forecasts are in red. So the historical data, you can see when the historical data is ending, both from the cell below and from the chart. You can also enlarge the chart by double-clicking on it. So if you want to have a better view, you can do that. And what you can do by clicking on this drop-down menu, you can actually see which kind of data transformation to see. So in this case, we are seeing consumption for Germany levels, but then we can change to quarterly change, we can change to annual percentage change, we can change to difference, Q&Q difference. So it depends what you are doing, it depends what you are actually interested in, and you can change the type of the transformation. What you can actually do on the chart, if you click on the right arrow, we can move the chart to the right, and then if we click on the left, we can go to the left. And you can also zoom in or zoom out from the chart by pressing delete. Delete will zoom in, and if you're going to press insert, it will enlarge the chart. So this is something very simple but quite useful to know. Then close to these to the variable here, so on the top, we have the possibility to show the residuals. So what a residual is? So, and perhaps we can introduce slightly this the idea of the residuals. So the residuals can be adaptive or multiplicative, depending on the different type of equations. But basically, the residual is the difference between the data and the series the equation would have predicted. So, and I'm going to open the info on the current variable, so by clicking on info on current variable. So, as you probably are aware, every variable is driven by an equation. And the equation is composed in two parts. So we have the main part, which is the one that I'm highlighting now, and then you have a residuals, which is in this case multiplying the main part. So the residuals in this case is the ratio between the equation calculation, so this part here, and the actual historical value, these parts there. Okay? So this is true for the historical data, while for over the forecast period, the residuals are set by the economists according to their judgment. So this information screen is quite useful because it's telling you basically all the different information that is giving you all the different information that we have for every variable. In this case, we are looking at Germany consumption, and at the top it's telling us which kind of variable is that, if it's real, if it's in local currency unit or in dollar unit, if it's seasonal adjusted or not. It's also telling you the main, the original sources, in this case Federal Statistical Office. So this is quite useful to see where the variable is coming from. It's telling you up to when you have historical data, in this case 2015 Q2, and as we have just seen, is showing us which kind of equation you have on the variable. The equations usually on our model are based on an error correction model form. So, sorry, standard error correction specification, yes. So the term, meaning that there is a term on the which is representing the long-term relationship between the variables and the dependent variables, and there is a short-term relationship. So this is not the easiest way to see it, but as you probably can see there, in the equation for consumption in Germany, we have PEDI, which is personal gross disposable income. We have a measure of interest rate. We have a measure of wealth, which is PEN VW plus MFMVH, and we have a measure of credit condition. So these are the variables that enter on the right-hand side for the equation of consumption in Germany. And then what you can see under the equation specification, you can see all the equation into which consumption is feeding into. So, for example, consumption in Germany will be on the right-hand side a part of the equation for all these variables. Okay. So the info screen is quite important because, in fact, it's telling you where the variable is coming from there, so from this indicator there, and where the variable is going to this equation. If we go back to the main screen, we have the possibility, as I said before, to move to different sector, to easily move to different variables. So either by clicking into the first column or the second column. And what we can do is, other than just showing the data, we can also change, if we are interested in a very simple simulation, and I'm going to show you a very simple simulation now on oil prices. If you're interested in a very simple simulation, you have to change the path of your forecast, right? And you can do that, so you can change the variable in three different ways. The first one will be to go into the cell there and type in the number you're interested in. So I was there, double click on the cell, and let's say I'm assuming then that oil prices will be lower than in baseline in 2016, and will average around $50 or $45 per barrel. So in that case, what I will have to do is just type in 45 in the cells over there. What you can also do, and this is, I would say, important if you're interested in like say a series of variables like interest rate or exchange rate or commodity price, is that you can actually change the values of the variables by just working on the chart. So if I'm clicking on the graph, okay? So let's say I'm clicking on 2017, and you can see that you have this arrow there. And then what can I do? I can change the profile by holding the mouse, okay, and dragging down and moving the mouse up or down, just to change the profile of the forecast. So let's say I want to go to 40 by 2017. And what you can see on the chart is that you can see the new profile, the one in red in this case, and the old profile, which is the one in a light blue over there. What you can also do there is you can interpolate, let's say, the data from the new value to the old one. So let's say you want to have a gradual decrease from 2015 Q4 to 2017 Q1. You can just do that by pressing Control left in this case. So I'm pressing Control left, and what I will have is a gradual interpolation of the variable. Okay. The other way to implement the change is through this Specify Change button there. So if I click on that, I have these specify function in which it will tell me which period I want to implement this function. So let's say I want to change from 2016 Q1 to 2016 Q4. And what I can do there is I can apply, let's say I want a decrease of oil price by 10% with respect to baseline. So what I will have to do is multiply everything by 0.9, right? And then we'll remove 10% from oil prices in the period I have specified. Okay, as you can see, this is quite useful if you want to apply, like, let's say, some shocks on some variables in which you say, okay, I want to cut 5% on GDP, I want to cut 5% on consumption, etc. So this is quite easy. So you don't have to go into Excel and calculate what is 5% of GDP. You can just go there and type in times 0.95, and then it will automatically cut 5%. Is that clear? Do you have any question on that?
No, that's great, thanks.
So thank you. So let's say I want to do I'm going to show you a very simple simulation on oil prices and how you can interpret the data. So let's say we're assuming oil price will be lower than what we currently have in baseline. So let's say we want to decrease the oil price by 15% between 2016 and 2018. So I'm gonna multiply that by 0.85, and I'm gonna click yes on that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new profile for oil price. I'm gonna solve the model and I'm gonna see which effect I will have on the other variables that are in the model. So this is my new profile for oil prices. I'm going to click implement and I'm going to click solve. So every time we want to solve the model, we have to click on solve. We have to select the time period we are interested in. So in this case, we can just select it from 2015 to 2018. So we don't care what's happening after 2018. Here is telling us which input database to use. In this case, we are using the September one. Fine. And then it's asking us which name to give to the output database. And I can call in oil lower or something like that. I want to include all countries because I want to see all the second round effect of these on all the countries that are on the model. And by clicking on options, I have the possibility to see the run file by clicking on browse run file. Browsing run file is something that I would recommend because it's basically the run file is a file in which all the changes we are making are stored. So it's basically telling us which change we are applying to that particular base. And it's quite useful to check that all the changes that are meant to be in the run file are actually in the run file. So I'm going to browse it and then click OK. So as you can see, this is the run file, and it's basically telling us the new profile for oil prices. So this is the change that we have made to oil prices, okay? And these are it's a new profile for oil prices that will be read into the model. So I'm going to close it, and the model is asking if I want to continue with the solution. I'm going to click yes. Every time it's solved, this black box open, and it's basically telling you how many iterations the model is doing in order to reach an equilibrium. And usually the model it takes like 20-30 seconds, maximum 1 minute to solve. It's telling us that the solution is finished. We press on continue. So what we can do there is we want to see if the new profile is actually went into the model. So I click run model, and then I'm going to open the database with the new oil profile. So what I want to do is I want to see if the new oil profile is there. Okay, you can see This is the new profile, which is in a light blue. The profile that is in light blue, it means that the model, the new profile for the forecast is fixed down. Fixed down means that we are actually telling the model for that particular variable, don't run the equation, but use the new path that we have selected. So oil price will remain at that particular level, okay, up to 2018. So we are telling the model not change oil price because we want to oil price, let's say, we have exogenized the oil price profile. Then what we want to see is the effect of this lower oil price on the other economies. And there are different ways to see that. Of course, you can always see that on moving into the model. So let's say United States GDP, but then that will be a little bit tricky, particularly if you're interested in see the difference between the new base and the starting database. So in order to see that, it's easier to produce different tables. So if we go to generate results table, we will have the possibility to see the different tables between the new base, so the one with the lower oil prices, sorry, and the one with the initial one, so the September one. So I'm going to select the year I'm interested in, so 2015 to 2018, and what I can select here is I can select different types of tables. Okay, so by clicking on standard table, I will download a series of tables in which I will have the main indicators for every country, so GDP, consumption, etc. If I'm going to select difference table, I will have to select the base for the difference. In this case, it will be September 1, so because that was the base we have started from. Okay, and then I can select under the options button, I can select if I want the table to go to XLS, so yes, and if I want annual or quarterly data, we can select annual data. And then by clicking again OK, the model will ask me which country I'm interested in. I can select all if I'm interested to see the difference for all the countries, or I can select just few countries. So let's say I'm interested only in few countries. So let's say Eurozone, United States, China, and then I'm going to select a couple of countries that produce oil, like Russia, Saudi Arabia, and then maybe Canada to see what's happening. So I'm going to click OK, and the model is opening this CSV file. So in the CSV file, as you can see, I'm gonna have the difference for the countries I have selected. Okay. So let's say I'm interested to see the change in GDP for United States. I see that in 2018, a lower oil prices will increase GDP by 0.5% with respect to baseline. And you can see that that is mainly coming by higher consumer expenditure due to lower consumer prices. Okay, so there you're actually able to see the difference and the dynamics on the model. So what's actually driving what? So lower oil prices probably bring into higher consumption in higher GDP. Equally, we will have a positive impact on the eurozone. But let's say if you look at Russia, which is a producer of oil, then the impact will be negative. So this is a very simple scenario just to show how to change it on the model and how to see the results of the simulation on the XLS file. Do we have any question on that?
No, that's fine.
Thank you. So I'm going to close it down. So I think we have a couple of more minutes. Do you have any other question that I can cover in these minutes? Of course, I mean, this is a very, let's say, this is quite a basic introduction to the model, and if you're interested in more advanced, what I would suggest you to do is to play a little bit with the model, see what's easy for you, see what's not so straightforward, and then send me an email if you have any question, or send my colleagues an email, and then if you have specific questions, we can organize like specific webinars in which we can ask your specific question. So get in touch if you have specific issues, or if something hasn't been clear, or something is not as straightforward as I've shown. So just drop me an email and we can organize something. Okay?
Okay, Nicola, thank you. From my side, from Africa, really, something like the oil price and running scenarios on oil prices would be great to look at the impact on Nigeria, Angola, and I know those countries are not yet in your global model.
Yeah, these countries are not on the global model, and they are under, and some of them are probably under the OPEC headline. So I know that Angola and Nigeria are under there. So probably you will be able to see the headline GDP for Angola and Nigeria under the OPEC aggregation.
Okay, I'll play around with it and I'll come back to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Righto, keep well. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.